Hello YouTubers, it's Championdjk coming at you again with another weekly video, and I got some stuff to show you. I don't really have that much to show you this week, but it's some really cool stuff nonetheless. I did get, well, first of all, my buddy Angel, AR Hotbox, was in town this last weekend, and that was really awesome hanging out with him. He was a YouTuber on here for a while that made diecast videos. He hasn't made one in years. But super cool dude, and was really cool. Second time I met up with him. If you go back to my 100th episode of this show, he made a guest appearance on it because he just happened to be in town for that episode. Anyways, he's from Florida, so it's not like we can just hang out whenever. So it was kind of a special occasion to see him and hang out with him, and he hung out with me and Crazy Todd and Jeremy Bolter. We went over to Jeremy's house and did a little Snap-on tune-up shop unboxing, so check out that video. I did that one live just to try it out, and that turned out kind of cool, so check that out if you haven't seen it. But anyway, so he was in town. Also, while he was in town, I got some mail, and I got, one of the things I got in the mail was this AutoWorld 2019 Release 1. I got sets A and sets B from 3,000 Toys. Now, I already did an unboxing video of these sealed inners. If you go back and check out, not of these particular ones, but of this series, if you go back and check out my AutoWorld giveaway winner video, I went ahead and unboxed this series. I did a video for this, but I just didn't post it, and the only reason why I didn't post it was because I didn't score a chase, and I've already shown this series of cars, so I just didn't feel like it was necessary to go out and put out another video. Yeah. Anyway, just didn't feel like it was necessary. It turned out alright. I actually filmed it outside, but anyway, it's a sweet set of cars. I got a set A and a set B here, so now I have two of the set A and one of the set B of this release for the AutoWorld Horde. Did not score an Ultra Red in either one of those boxes, but that's okay. Alright, so on to, I guess, the more new additions for the week. I did get some mail. One of them was from eBay. This is a Jaguar JR9 Kyosho. We'll go ahead. It's going to be hard to see it, of course, in this view, so we will take a look at it in the second half of the segment. So I got that Kyosho. From Heavy Metal 164, I got a Tomica Limited Vintage Neo. This was a Nissan Prairie. This is actually a really cool piece, and of course, we're going to take a look at that in the second segment of the video. This video actually might be a short one, a short weekly video, and if it is, that's okay. I'm going to try to make these videos, I say this every time, I'm going to try to make these videos just a little bit shorter, and naturally they're going to be if I don't get a lot of stuff. So, and this week's kind of one of those weeks. I didn't really get a lot of stuff. Another eBay find was this Kyosho, and I'm kind of weirded out by this Kyosho. Now, I had some people mention that there's possible Kyosho counterfeits out there, and one of them was the Ferrari LaFerrari, and because it appears really, really cheap, and you can get it super cheap off of eBay. So this is another one that there's tons of these on eBay, and I don't know if they're just super cheap because they are counterfeit, or if they're just super cheap because it's super common. It's the common one in the series, but it's this black Lamborghini Aventador LP700-4. Not a clue. So we're going to take a look at it close up in the second segment of the video. And if anybody who really knows their stuff about Kyosho, let me know if there is something weird about this release of it. It just seems like there's way too many of these on eBay, and you can get this super cheap on eBay if you want this car. So check that out. All right, so next we got a mail find from Surplus Goodies. Thank you very much, buddy, for that. He hooked me up with a couple of pieces here. One of them was this chromed Christine. I already have it, so I just wanted to get an additional one because I think if you go to his eBay site, he's kind of blowing these out on eBay. These were originally like I think like $20 was the minimum pricing for these Miho exclusives. I think it was $20 shipped was like minimum that sellers were allowed to charge. And now that I think there's kind of a surplus of these, that minimum has been dropped. And so I think he's selling these for like $8 or $9 a piece plus shipping. But if you get a few things from him, the shipping, you know, gets really cheap. But yeah, so if you wanted this and passed on it originally because it was too expensive, this chromed Christine Mio exclusive limited to 3,600 pieces, I recommend you hit up Surplus Goodies on eBay. And if you still got some left, I would definitely pick some up from him because it's the lowest price I think I've seen on that car. So there's that. And then he also has had some Kyosho, surprisingly, on his eBay. One of them is this, and he's got a few of this Mercedes-Benz series. This is the AMG mini car collection. One of them is this Mercedes-Benz CLK GTR Roadster in silver, so I had to pick up that. Very nifty. So that's super neat. Picked that one up. Really, really cool. Of course, we're going to take a look at it in the second half of the video. I just feel like I don't need to really say that 100 times like I do, but we're going to look at that close up. And then also this thing is really cool. This is a Kyosho Beads Collection Nissan R89C 1989. And this thing is just really amazing looking. So this is the Beads Collection from Kyosho. Basically what these are, now I believe this casting itself was released in a regular Nissan Racing Kyosho set, not just in the Beads Collection. And I think the only difference, and I'm not sure, and someone else, again, if you're a Kyosho expert, let me know. I'm far from an expert on these cars. Let me know what the deal is, but I know, I'm pretty sure there's like a little baby antenna like kind of thing on the hood of that. I know that wasn't a detail. I don't think that was on the original release of this car, and there might be some other details that were not on the original release. So I think the Beads Collection is supposed to be kind of like a more detailed version, if you could get more detailed for Kyosho. But anyway, this thing looks amazing in person in the package. I cannot wait to pop it out of here and take a very close look at it with you guys. So stay tuned for that. And then lastly, in the store, I did find a couple of Hot Wheels. I found a mystery model. This is the 1970 Plymouth Superbird. So another one checked off the list. I am still missing the Huracan Super Trofeo LP620-2 and the Dodge Viper SRT10 and the Acura NSX. I think those are the only three I still need, which are, I guess, the, I don't know, chase pieces or whatever. They're not really chase pieces, but they're the more limited ones in the sets. So I still need those, and I'm sure I'll find them eventually. And yeah, so need those. And then I just picked up a couple of mainline cars from a Target. I believe these are all either K or J case. One of these is like totally trashed. It's got weird, I don't know, like dirt on it almost. Porsche 917 LH, 68 Copa Camaro, 19 Ford Ranger Raptor, and the Volkswagen Käfer Racer in black. I think I already had the Käfer Racer in black. I'm going to open this one anyway, unless I see that I did have it. I don't know if I did or not. Just peeking over here in the cars I haven't put away yet. Whatever, I'm going to open it. So we're going to open these four in the second segment as well. So we got a few things, 5 or so Hot Wheels, 4 Kyosho, and a Tomica Limited Vintage to look at in the second half of this video. So stick around and check them out. All right, so let's just burn through these Hot Wheels real quick first. This is the mystery models. Slowly picking away at these. So love that they finally put out a solid set with a lot of cool castings, and just probably the best set of mystery models that's ever been put out as far as I'm concerned. Just a lot of the castings are really great. Of course, each one comes with a sticker. Pretty cool. And here is the Plymouth Superbird. Cool casting. Glad to pick that one off. All right, so there's that. Porsche 917 LH in red. Definitely dig this casting. This is a recolor. It was already out in blue. So now we get to see it in red. And again, I'm so behind with Hot Wheels and stuff like that. I just don't... I've been so deep into this premium diecast stuff, which we're going to spend the rest of the video on after these Hot Wheels, that I still get excited about finding some new models. And this is definitely one of the new models I do get excited about finding. And I think it's a really nicely done car, and I think it's very awesome. But I've just been really kind of head over heels for premium stuff. So, then here's this, the 68 Copa Camaro, kind of an interesting one with a mixed wheels situation going on. Overall, not bad though. Out of the Camaros, the Camaro castings, I should say, of this era Camaro, you know, like the 68, the 69, I think, well, just 68 and 69, right? 67, 68, 69. This is probably my favorite tooling, is this one, the 68 Copo. I do like this tooling quite a bit. Out of all the Camaros, like I said, of this like era generation, this is probably my favorite tooling. So I just think it's a nicely done tooling. I think it's pretty cool. Even with the mixed wheels, I think it looks pretty decent. So there is that. This thing is a new model for 2019. I think would have been much cooler had they not given it a super busy tampo scheme for its like first run. I think this is the first. Is this the first time this casting has been out, or is this a recolor? Somebody let me know. But this one, the tooling itself is pretty cool. This Ranger Raptor. But yeah, the color scheme, you know, I'm not a huge fan of. I'm sure kids will like it and stuff like that. But yeah, for me, it's just not for me. And then lastly, this Moon Eyes, which, I don't know, the more I think about it, I think I do already have this one. Probably do, but whatever. Now I got two, if I did have it. At least this one for sure is a super clean version of it. At least it looks pretty clean. Tampos are pretty clean. It's a very cool tooling. Of course, there's going to be one that's impossible to get. There's the Gulf one. That one's going to be literally probably I'll never have it. And that's okay. But all the other variations I'll definitely pick up as they come out. Would like to see another premium release of this tooling. I think it would be very cool. So there's only been one. I think it was a Toy Fair one. I think it was like a Toy Fair version of this tooling. And that one's going to be, of course, a very, very tough one to get. But this one's pretty cool. And that's that. All right, so let's see. Before we step into Kyosho then, let's take a look at this Tomica Limited Vintage Neo, which this came from Heavy Metal 164 and was just like part of a trade from back. And this is TLVN 115. If you're ever looking for these on eBay and you want to look for a specific model, you can search by this LV-N115 to kind of find the release that you're looking for. So I recommend doing that. Very, very cool. There is really nowhere, though, to get TLV cheap. There just isn't. There isn't... now, you can wait around for good deals, because sometimes people do ask exorbitant amounts for some of these cars. And they're great. I mean, they're great vehicles. But sometimes, you know, actually, this is one of the items where patience really doesn't pay off. Okay? And explaining that is, the cheapest you're ever going to get a Tomica Limited Vintage is pre-ordering it through Japan Booster. As far as I know. From the U.S. anyway. I can't speak for other countries. But from the U.S., the cheapest you're ever going to get a release is likely going to be from Japan Booster, and if you pre-order it. It's discounted when you pre-order it, and likely is going to be the least expensive you're ever going to pay for a release, no matter what the car is. Okay, so that is my experience, or at least what I think is true. If anybody disagrees with me, definitely let me know. And if you know where to find these cheaper and you don't feel like sharing with everybody else, you can always send me an email at championdjk@gmail.com and share your secret with me. But yeah, so anyway, I just, from what I found, I mean, you can pick some off somewhat inexpensively on eBay if you again, are very patient and you're kind of looking all the time, and, eventually you find one, used from a secondhand seller, and it might be a little cheap. But most often, the best shot you got is getting them right when they come out or right before they come out by pre-ordering. And actually, I should say pre-ordering almost 2 to 3 months in advance of them coming out. Okay, it's just the reality of it. All right. These are very nice, though. This is a very nice model. This is one of those models that I wouldn't really expect to love so much, that I wouldn't have probably went and picked up on my own, but Travis, Heavy Metal 164, has 2 of this tooling and was able to part with one of them, and this is the one that he parted with, and I think this one looks absolutely amazing. It's a very, very cool looking little car. And just the detail on this thing is just so fantastic on this Nissan Prairie. So good. And, of course, it's got the suspension. It's got a metal body, a metal base. Another short story about this car is this car he did drop, and it skidded across like a tile floor and literally has no issues from that skid across the floor. So that speaks also to the durability of Tomica Limited Vintage. Just a really cool car and just a fantastic release. Obviously, Tomica Limited Vintage, it is expensive to collect if you want a lot of them. However, I mean, if you can either get 100 Hot Wheels or maybe 3 or 4 of these. 100 standard Hot Wheels in the store, maybe 3 or 4 of these cars. That's kind of the way it is, and it is the way it is, if you pay for the premium quality of it. So let me know. I mean, if you guys don't have any of these in your collection, it's the same thing with AutoWorld. Like, if you don't have any AutoWorld in your collection, just get one. Just buy one. Take it out of the package. That's the key thing to it right there, is taking it out of the package. Play with it. And just having it in your hands and feeling the weight of it and seeing the detail outside of the package will really give you a different appreciation for the car. It just does. And that's the nice thing about Tomica Limited Vintage, and a lot of these Japanese brands are, import brands, is they're not packaged in blisters that once you open, they're opened. A lot of them are packaged in a way that you can take the vehicle out, enjoy it, and then if you want to, you can store it reliably in an acrylic case or in one of these boxes with these little bubbles. And even with AutoWorld, like AutoWorld is the same way. You can take the car out, you can enjoy it, and then if you want to store it reliably in, you can put it back in the box. So it's kind of a cool and neat thing. But this really, and I didn't start really opening, and I'm sorry to really get off on a tangent here, but I didn't really start opening cars all of the time until I started getting into some more premium stuff, and it really started with AutoWorld and opening my AutoWorld collection. I started by opening some AutoWorld cars just to take pictures of them, and since then I've had to have everything opened. So very, very cool. All right, so that's that Nissan Prairie. I am very much digging that. All right, so next up, let's take a look at this. Actually, let's do this Lamborghini. So this Lamborghini Aventador LP700-4. So this is from Lamborghini Collection 4. And this is the box, okay, that it comes in. So the one thing I noticed about the box is the printing on it is very dot matrixy. And when I compare this to my other Kyosho boxes, this really doesn't look right. And that kind of makes me think that this is actually a counterfeit Kyosho. Somebody will comment on this and let me know. And I think that it just might be. And if you look on eBay for this casting, or anything in that Lamborghini Series 4, you'll find way more of these than any other vehicle. And again, the printing on the card just looks very low resolution compared to what you will typically see on Kyosho packaging. I wish I had one from Series 4 here to compare. And I think I actually do have a Series 4 car. I've got the Estoque, but I don't think I got that one with a package. You know, maybe I'll do an episode on my Kyosho collection at some point, and I'll kind of showcase this. But these are just my thoughts. I don't know for sure if what I'm saying is accurate, that this is possibly a counterfeit. The other thing that's weird is it does have a silver screw, which is not very typical of Kyosho to actually have a silver screw. I think they're usually black. So, not that that would be something that, you know, and again, I'm not a super Kyosho expert. I do have quite a few of them, but not an expert. So let's take a look here. The base, Kyosho, made in China. That's normal. 1/64 scale Lamborghini Aventador LP 700-4. Everything else about this probably looks normal, and it probably is an accurate version of the other car. And it, you know, it very well actually could even be made at the same factory. It's China. I don't know. So, it does not roll at all. Which Kyosho, the majority of Kyosho, I would say, does roll fairly well. This one does not, but it is screwed together, so I could loosen up these screws just a tad bit, and it would probably roll. It is very nice looking. It's got lens detail up front. It's got a small, tiny Lamborghini logo down there. It's got painted taillights, and it looks pretty good. So my guess is if it is counterfeit, it's very possible it was actually made at the same facility that makes actual Kyosho cars. You know, and again, I'm not going to claim to really know. This screw definitely looks off to me. Definitely looks off. And like I said, it's just weird that this car is super easily, you know, gettable, and you can get it really cheap in comparison to a lot of the other cars that are in that series. So, I don't know. But nonetheless, it does look very cool. It kind of, I guess, sucks if it's a counterfeit, but it does look really good. All right, so there's that. And then next, we'll take a look at this Jaguar XJR9. I'm pretty sure this one is legit. I got this actually from a U.S. seller. So this was in a U.S. seller's collection. They were selling it on eBay. I'd made a best offer on this, and it was accepted. Here it is. See, black screw. That's what we normally see. Looking on the base of this. The base looks a little different than this other one. All right, but this would be an older release anyway. I forget what release this is from. It's like British Racing Car Series. The model's a little bit dirty, but that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and take it off the base here. I can always take some compressed air to it, clean it up a little bit. So here this thing is. Very, very dark British Racing green. Which looks good. Just think this tooling is really cool. There's a version of this car that's got more racing logos on it, Jaguar, and it's like purple. I really want that one. That one is at a premium, definitely. This one's riveted together. The wing on the back is a plastic piece. The body is metal. The base is plastic, which is normal for Kyosho. You got lens detail up in the front, which of course is also normal for Kyosho. This one rolls very well and looks pretty cool. The side mirrors also are a plastic bit that is inserted into the body. It looks pretty well detailed. The interior's got some good sculpting detail. Got some fingerprints on the windshield. Other than that, it's very clear. And here's a look at your base. It looks pretty cool. Bases on the Kyoshos are generally plain. That's normal. That's pretty awesome, though. Let's set this one aside here for a sec, and then let's take a look at this Mercedes AMG collection. It's got some licensing there, some AMG licensing. Holographic sticker, which there is no holographic sticker on the Lamborghini thing, and I think some of the Lamborghini series, I think they do have a holographic sticker, so that could be possibly another difference. All right, so this car is available in silver, black, and white, and of course I got the silver one. So let's go ahead and pull that out. Here it is, Mercedes-Benz CLK GTR Roadster. So this was a road-going version too of this vehicle. This I think this vehicle was a Group C race car. At least the hardtop version was. And they also made a road-going version, of course. So here it is. I'm glad I got this for sure. This is a beautiful looking Kyosho. It's actually quite heavy as well. So it's a nice solid metal. It's got really cool lens detail in the rear. Lens detail up front. And convertible cars or open top cars are actually really cool when you get them in a detailed brand, because usually it kind of reveals a lot more of the interior sculpting and detail than, you know, a normal car. Now it's all black, and the majority of all Kyosho cars have just a black interior, which is fine. And again, probably a very plain base. And yes, there we go. It is a riveted vehicle, which some Kyoshos are riveted, some are not, some are screwed together. This thing is pretty cool though, man. That one I like actually a lot better than I thought I was going to. And I believe he's only asking, I think, $9.99 for these or something like that online. So definitely check out Surplus Goodies for one of these cars if you want it. He's got it in all the other colors. And I think he's got, I want to say he's got this whole Mercedes set available. I think if you want to take a look here, the only one that I think is more expensive, I don't think he has the SLS AMG. I don't know if he's got that one. If he does, I probably would have had a hard time not picking that one up. He's got the G-Wagon. I think that's the only one that's a little bit more expensive than the others. But man, after having this one in my hands, this is a good series. A very cool series. And just the quality of this car is actually very, very nice. And that's the thing with Kyosho too, I will say. Kyosho has varied in quality over the years and construction type. So like the early ones are not as good as the newer ones. Okay, the earlier Kyosho is actually not as good as newer. They have improved this formula as they've gone on here. So, so there's that. All right, so lastly, we're going to take a look at this beads collection. And I'm trying to get it open while I'm talking here. But this thing right here, this is going to be a fragile one. It's got a fragile piece on top. I can already see this antenna. So this is definitely one we're going to want to be careful with. This is not one you're going to want to be able to just put in a jammer and let it kind of bang around in there. You can see the packaging is a little bit more premium with the acrylic case, not a bubble. And this is another like prototype race car. The Nissan R89C 1989. So this is also, I believe, still available at Surplus Goodies, should you decide to embark to get one. And from the looks of it, I would probably recommend it if you're into this type of car. All right, I'm going to very carefully remove this one from the base because it's got that antenna on the top. Okay. It does roll actually quite well. So that's awesome. And let's take a look at this sucker. Really cool. Okay, so first thing you're going to notice, the body style is nearly identical to the Jaguar. See that guy? See that guy? Very, very close. Really cool car. So this one obviously doesn't have an antenna on the top. This one feels a little bit lighter than this one does. The back is plastic, so the wing is plastic. The body is metal. You've got lens detail up front, as we would expect from this. You've got great looking Nissan Racing decals. It does actually have lens detail in the taillights as well, and it's got cool circular taillights. That is awesome. You do get taillights on this Jaguar. They are not inserts. They are painted with a reflective paint, though, so they do look really nice. And let's take a look at the base. Base, of course, is pretty plain, as we would expect. Bottom of these cars probably isn't much to look at anyway. And there you go. I believe is the top. Some of these cars, to Kyosho, the tops will be plastic. That's metal. No, it's all metal. Nice clear windows. So the only thing you really need to be careful, and I barely want to touch this thing, that little antenna on the top. Man, so cool though. This is such a cool thing. So it's got, these are actually part of the casting. Yeah, this is really awesome. All right, so I'm stoked to add this to the collection. This will probably take some really amazing pictures. And this is the kind of Kyosho I really dig. I think it looks awesome. And you can kind of see brakes inside of this wheel. Man, that's cool. Okay. Super cool. All right, so this is definitely hands down probably my, well, this and the Tomica Limited Vintage are my favorite pieces of the week. And that's going to be it for this video. So I did end up stretching the second half out to 22 minutes. So that puts us at almost 30-some minutes for the episode. And, yeah, I said I'd make it short, and of course I didn't. So, sorry. All right, so just a quick recap. This thing's amazing. This thing's pretty awesome, too. This thing is really awesome. This thing is possibly counterfeit. And I'm going to assume it is until someone tells me otherwise. And then this thing is also very awesome. And then, of course, we got some Hot Wheels, too. But, yeah, who cares about those, right? I mean, just kidding. I do care about Hot Wheels still. But this stuff just really has got me right now. All right. That's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you guys very much for watching. Please check out my sponsor, MassCarDisplays.com. Put in the promo code Champion for 10% off your order. That would help me out. And then also, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, shoot me a comment, but most importantly, have yourself a really good week. Thank you.